gun, not to join the gang. Everything you've heard about already this afternoon. But you have to do it of your own volition. We can't make you. So we're not going to teach you how to do things. We're going to facilitate you to learn the right kind of skills to cope in the 21st century. And what we're trying to do is to build a core of resilient young people that are at the centre of our communities. And that's what Peace Jam is all about. And Sally Milne here, who you've also heard about this afternoon, is going to tell you a little bit about how Peace Jam started and what we do and how we do it.
Thanks, Caroline. So that was an exercise taken from one of our curriculum. And we have a curriculum for children from 5 up to university age. And the method is all facilitation. So they talk a lot of the time, they discuss a lot of the time, they find out for themselves a lot of the time, and they find out how to find things out. And they acquire a lot of skills doing that, because the education program that we have has 3 components to it. One is a learning component, and we start, as one of our speakers, I'm afraid I can't remember who it was, but one of our speakers said today, starting with ourselves. So if you're going to be a person, a man or a woman of peace, then you start with yourself. And so there's a lot of understanding of your own identity, of various issues so that you know where you stand on them. And then once that is done, you then go on to be inspired by a laureate. So you've learned about a number of issues of racism, of violence, and those sorts of matters. And halfway through the course, there is a conference at a university, and the young people come to the university to meet with one of our Nobel laureates. They have Q&A sessions with them, the laureates meet their teachers, the young people meet other young people from all over the country, and also a year or 2 ago from Azerbaijan. We had students from Azerbaijan, and we had students from Kazakhstan as well. And I have to say, they were amongst the liveliest and the brightest that we had at the conference. They were absolutely terrific. But we do have some students, and they're mostly from this country, but we also have them from abroad. And despite all the Brexit nonsense that's been going on, we have managed to become part of an Erasmus program and get a grant under the Erasmus scheme in Europe. And so we're now going into Europe. And so we have some students from Europe coming to our conferences here, and our students go to their conferences there. So there's been an exchange of students going to Belgium, and Greek students have come to us, and some of our students have gone to Greece. And so gradually you build up a sort of international citizenship understanding of skills and experience. And although we call ourselves a peace education program, and we are that, but really if I had to do a sort of subtitle under that, it would be a program for international citizenship. And after the conference, and when the young people have met the laureate, and it is a very inspirational time, not only meeting with each other, but also particularly the exchange with the laureate. Because our laureates are all very different. And the Nobel Peace Laureates are not sort of perfect people. They are ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. And that is a very inspirational role model for all of us, but particularly for young people who maybe feel that there is nothing really that they can do to make a difference. And the laureates show that there certainly is, and you can. So after that part of the program, the young people then go on to do something practical. Because all our laureates say it's absolutely no good beating yourself up about something if you don't do anything about it. So they start with addressing things that they know about. So it might be something in their neighborhood or something in their school. And they identify something that they would like to see changed. They work in a small team, so they learn how to work together. And that often takes quite a long time. How to set the norms, how you work as a team, how you're going to make decisions. But they're all really useful learning skills for the future. And they go on to do some sort of project in their area. They have to figure out what they actually can do because it's got to be practical. They learn how to make a really effective telephone call to someone, how to write a good letter, how to figure out who are the movers and shakers in a council if they want to get something done that's going to involve their local council. And it makes them very practical, rooted people in their community. And also it leads to exchanges between them and people in their community, and quite often their families and people in the community. It opens up all sorts of communication channels. And in this world, as a lot of our speakers were saying today, communication, dialogue, talking is the way to achieve a lot of things. And our young people learn to do that. And so they carry out the project. And at the following year, they present this to the laureate at the conferences, which is a sign of recognition from the laureates for what they have done. And we have one-day events as well, which are local to areas, where the young people come together and they discuss what they did in their projects and what worked, and just as importantly, what didn't, and whether they're going to carry it on, and if so, how. And so all of this makes them extremely activist, confident young people. How to present, how to talk to people. All of that is extraordinarily important in life. And it's the sort of thing which often doesn't get covered by the ordinary curriculum. So Peace Jam is a program which can go into schools and can be used in any number of ways. It can be used in tutor groups, it can be used in RE sessions, it can be used in humanities sessions, and it is used in all these different ways. And the result is a lot of young people coming out of school who are very rooted in their communities and who have a network. Because they are also able to join our laureates networks. Our laureates have foundations, and they have contacts with all sorts of people as well. And our laureates make themselves very accessible to the young people. And they also get a chance to go into a university. Many young people wouldn't think at all about setting foot in a university if they weren't an academic child. But our conferences are held in universities, so they go in and they are mentored by university students. So they meet university students and they get an understanding that maybe they don't have to always have 3 A's or be the most brilliant. There are courses that any student can do. And we actually have children from all sorts of schools, from the most disadvantaged schools to very privileged schools. And one time, because we often mostly think, about trying to help the most disadvantaged youngsters, but actually a student from a school in Jersey, which was well off and had no financial problems at all, they were saying what an eye-opener it was to meet students who came from disadvantaged areas and to understand the difference in their lives compared to their own. So it works both ways. And I would just say, if any of you are young people who would like to mentor school students, our program gives you an opportunity to do that. And also it gives you an opportunity to learn facilitation skills for those groups, which again is a very useful life skill as well.